Okay. All right. So, Mr. Petro, am I good to go ahead and start sharing my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to present my screen now. All right. I am Leslie Payton. I'm one of the first grade teachers on our grade level. Joining me and presenting with, I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. Joining and presenting today will be Miss Russell. She's also a first grade teacher that has been here for a number of years. We have Miss Flores, who will be controlling the chat. So if you have to ask any questions before the end, we ask that you please type it in the chat, and Miss Flores will take care of answering those questions as we move along. We also have joining us Miss Ruggs, Miss Dean, and Miss Thomason could not be here today. But all the first grade teachers are on, and we are glad that you were able to join us today. We're going to try and make this presentation as brief as possible and try to answer your questions, if you have any, about transitioning to in-person learning. So this is the presentation. Let me see if I can present. We ask that you could, if you would, please make sure you're muted.
Click on it.
If you could go ahead and mute. Thank you. All right, so this is the return to school parent meeting for first grade. What we're going to cover today is our reopening plan, E.R. Dixon's reopening plan. We're also going to review the MCPSS superintendent's email from 9/24. It was mailed out last week through email to parents and staff. We're going to talk about your child's classroom, and then we're going to talk about where to find information for face-to-face students as well as remote students. Okay, as you know, first grade students are able to return to school on October 5th, Monday. Okay, if you opted for in-person or face-to-face learning, then your first grader can attend school at the physical school building on Monday, October 5th. So this presentation, we're going to cover the guidelines that the district has set forth as well as the school to accommodate this method of learning during this time of COVID-19 in the meeting. All right, so this is what you guys received on last Thursday or Friday from your child's teacher. This is the E.R. Dixon reopening plan for in-person learning's flyer that went out on last Thursday or Friday. You should have gotten this from your teacher. It is also on our website. So what we're going to do in this presentation is pretty much take the information from this flyer and just go over those things, as well as give some enhancements, some additional information that relates to each section. So E.R. Dixon's reopening plan, the health and safety, what are we doing at the school? So we really are focusing on washing and sanitizing. Students will wash and sanitize their hands upon entering the classroom and multiple times throughout the day. Sanitation is a priority. In fact, we have several sanitization stations located around the school. We will also be doing regular cleaning and disinfecting on a regular basis. We already have the materials provided to us by Ms. Ken. The custodial staff has given it to us, so we will be making sure that all areas are clean and disinfected routinely. Students will adhere to a restroom schedule, and the restrooms will be supervised. So we will have our opportunity to take the children or allow the children to go to the restroom, but because of, you know, close contact restrictions and things of that sort, we want to make sure that that time is supervised, that we have a monitor there. Parents, you will be notified by a school nurse should there be an exposure to COVID-19 via close contact with a confirmed positive COVID-19 case. So if that happens, then you will be notified. If it doesn't happen, of course, you won't receive notification. But we're going to make sure that we try and stay as clean and disinfected and sanitized as possible. Okay, that is our priority. What we need you to do, we need you to check your child's temperature each morning before you send them to school by bus or bringing them by car. Please make sure you check your child's temperature and check them for other symptoms that they may have. If they're not feeling well, please address those. Masks are not required for first graders, but it is welcomed. You know, that we won't deny them if they come in with a mask, of course. But we, according to the Alabama Department of Public Health and Governor Ivey's regulation, first graders are not required to wear masks. I believe Ms. Tomlinson has asked her parents if you would please. She's requesting that you guys send your child with a mask. But again, you know, masks are not required for first graders. The water fountains will not be used. So in fact, they're turned off and the fountain part is wrapped up. So we will not be using water fountains. So if you would, please send a clear labeled water bottle with your child so that they can have something to drink throughout the day. If you can't provide that, PE will be selling bottles of water for $1 every day. Okay. Students diagnosed with COVID-19 can, after quarantining, after recovery, and after a required written doctor's release, they can return to school. But those things must be met first before they can return to school. Classrooms. What are we doing in the classrooms? We are social distancing as much as possible. Okay, we have assigned seating, so students are to remain in their assigned seat in their assigned area throughout the day. They are not to share any supplies, devices, food, beverages, or any materials because we want to keep down the risk of COVID as much as possible. So we do ask that they do not share anything with anybody. Teachers, we will be using blended instruction to teach in-person learners. So we're going to do a combination of what they've been doing now, as well as some blended in face-to-face kind of activities. Okay. Revised schedules have been made to accommodate the transition of in-person students. We've included in their transitioning times, breakfast times, things of that sort to accommodate our students returning back to the school. And here is a list of student responsibilities that we received from our administration. This is the expectations that we would like our students to adhere to. So for students, we're requiring them to participate in digital citizenship lessons. That's the lessons that they receive from the librarian, Ms. Pratt. She is advising them on digital citizenship, and she's providing those lessons for them to take and adhere to. We ask them to take responsibility for the student device that's assigned for the school, that's assigned to them. So if they're transporting that device back and forth to school, use a laptop bag to transport that device to make sure that it's secure. And we also ask that you charge that device nightly. Okay. If you, sorry. If you have any questions regarding the device checkout, please refer to your device checkout agreement. We are expecting students to log into Schoology daily to be a part of live lessons, well, for the remote learners, but then for our face-to-face learners to do their assignments. To be prepared for daily instruction, that means come with their materials and ready to work every day. Follow the teacher's instructions and the assigned schedule. Focus during instructional time, making the most of online and blended learning opportunities. Submit all required work through Schoology and ask for help should they need it, which I don't think they have. Our students have a problem with asking for help, but please just stress that to them. Participate in intervention. That's our small group in intervention, when we take that time to work with a few students at a time, making sure that they participate in that. Be engaged in learning, and every night they should be at least reading a book for about 30 minutes every night, a library book, or I know that several first grade teachers, we have placed a lot of books inside of our Schoology folders that they can read and take AR tests on. Okay. That's what we're expecting from students. From parents, we're asking that you help us out as much as possible. Ensure that your student takes responsibility for their device, especially if it's been assigned to them from the school. You know, take care of it and securely transporting it back and forth, charging it every day. Cooperate and support teachers, your school and school district policies. Monitor your child's health daily and keep sick children at home. If they are sick and you know that they're running a fever, go ahead and keep them at home. And that's just to limit the risk of COVID. Okay. Communicate with the teachers regularly and as needed. We pretty much communicate a lot through email. We also have, you can also call the school and leave a message for us, but primarily email is the best way to contact us. And you can send messages through Schoology as well. Comply with all district requests regarding instruction and submission of assignments. Utilize the district established hotline. There is a hotline, if you remember, 221-7777. That's option 1, as needed, if you need it. But of course, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your first grade teacher first. And let us try and address it as quickly as possible. You might get a quicker answer through us than going through the hotline. Understand that this is a very crucial time in your child's educational journey. Stay positive and remain flexible as situations occur. We know that there's been a lot of changes going on. And so we all have to kind of bend and move and sway, to try to make this work for our students. So your cooperation and your understanding is very much appreciated. We are better and stronger together, and our students deserve all of us working together during this time because the quality of their education depends on it. All right, so we're looking for that from you parents. We really appreciate all the help and all the support that you have given us so far. We just ask that you continue to do so. All right, at this time, I'll ask Ms. Russell to take over.
Yes, so hi everybody, my name is Ms. Russell. I'm another first grade teacher here. Ms. Payton's just going to keep her sharing screen on, and we're just going to run through it, and I'll let her know when we need to move to the next one, and we'll kind of work together on that. So what we were talking about is our reopening plan, and this part is about breakfast and lunch and where the kids are going to eat. So every meal is going to be provided from the school into the classroom, so we're not going to the cafeteria at all. The lunch and the breakfast will be brought to the classroom, and they will eat there at their assigned seat, and it will be very confined so that we don't share food or anything like that. We cannot heat up food for students, so it needs to be a ready-to-eat lunch. And if you don't have lunch to bring, the school also has their school lunch. Students who wear masks, like we said before, it's not required for first grade, but we recommend it. They're obviously allowed to remove their mask to eat, and once the meal is complete, if you want them to have it back on, you just send a message to the teacher letting them know which kid, if you want your student to wear a mask during the day. The feeding program will still be in effect for remote students. The pickup's the same. For ER Dixon, it's Mondays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're sending your kids to face-to-face, the meal program will happen at the school, so you won't need to pick it up on Mondays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. anymore. Sorry about that. What you need to do as parents, you can no longer bring food to the school, even if your child forgot their lunch. There will not be parents allowed in the building to drop off food. This cafeteria will provide a lunch for your child, and allergies will come into account no matter what. So if your child has an allergy, just share that with your teacher and make sure it's updated in iNow. Like I said before, your child's snack and lunch should be ready to eat. We cannot heat up anything for them. And then no birthday celebrations to limit the COVID spread. So we cannot bring treat bags, cupcakes, donuts, or anything like that. All right, masks and uniforms. So your uniforms are they have the navy blue, the hunter green. They need to wear their belts and their khaki pants or shorts. In the hotter times, they can wear shorts. And the girls can wear skirts or the smocks or the jumpers. They need to be worn daily. On Fridays, you're allowed to wear your spirit shirt. So that's an ER Dixon PTO shirt from the past or from now. Or their house shirt that they'll probably be getting, I believe, again this year, or if they have one from the previous years, they can wear that. Masks are not required for first grade, like we said, but they're welcomed. But that means you cannot have any inappropriate markings or statements on those masks. So make sure you're paying attention to what mask your child's wearing to school. And if you want to purchase a PTO mask, you can, as well as the PTO shirts. Students will not need to wear their masks during PE. They're going to be spread out far enough, and they're going to be taking those precautions, and we want them to be able to breathe freely. So no masks at PE. They'll just keep them in their pockets so that it stays in their own space and it doesn't get left anywhere. And our school staff will be wearing masks during the day to protect your children. All right, PE class, to elaborate on that. Students will be going to PE. That's the one time of day that they're leaving the classroom. Every other time of the day, they're staying with their homeroom teacher in their classroom, in their assigned seats, and they're staying with us except for the PE. So they're going to be traveling to PE. Like I said, the masks are not required during PE because social distancing will be maintained the entire time. If you're bringing a clear water bottle with your child that has their name on it, they can bring it to PE, or you can buy a bottle of water for $1 at PE every day. Instead of the Walking Water Wednesday where you can only buy it once, now you can buy it every day. All right, arriving and dismissing from school. So parents, make sure you're checking your child's temperature before they come to school, or before you drop them off, or before you put them on the bus. Buses are going to run as normal. We have 13 buses now, so they're numbered instead of colored. We used to use the color code, now we're using the numbers. Students are required to wear their masks and sit with siblings on the bus, and they will have assigned seats except for those first graders and kindergartners. They're not required to wear their mask, but it's highly recommended. And then students without siblings will be assigned to their seat closer to the bus driver, and they will start by loading from the back to the front, and then they will dismiss from the front to the back to limit any passing. Students may not walk students into the school no matter what. They cannot come into the school at all. Parents cannot. Students will enter and exit the building during designated hallways, and each morning there will be a teacher assigned at different doors to help guide them in. We will go with one direction when we come in, so make sure you express to your student or child how to walk in a straight line when they're walking into school, so we don't have any traffic jams in the carpool line or in the line walking into the building. Unfortunately, Tiger Care is not available at this time. They're going to reevaluate that for second quarter. All right, more information. Students who are tardy, they have to be accompanied by a parent to the front door of the school. You can't just open the car door and let them run in. You have to bring them in and sign them in. If there are no visitors allowed at the school to limit the COVID spread. And then after 2 o'clock, there are no dismissals. So if you're needing an early dismissal, it has to be before 2 o'clock because we have to keep carpool lane open and we have to keep the lobby and every area open for dismissal times. Students will remain in classrooms until they're dismissed by their certain area. So students will stay in their classroom and be dismissed from there, and a certain teacher will come and help them navigate to the right location. So we're not going to be sitting all in the lobby or sitting all in the gym during dismissal time. We're going to be sitting in our classrooms to limit the COVID spread, and then you're going to want to express to your child how important it is to make sure they're listening carefully for their number or their bus number, okay? So they need to know their number. Student discipline. Now, this goes for both students who are face-to-face and on their remote learning. So all students, whether remote or in person, are subject to the Code of Conduct policy for discipline interactions. And you can find the discipline forms, the discipline contracts, and the Code of Conduct on the ER Dixon website. You can go and look for that more, or you can ask your teacher to elaborate for you. All right, so this was a few things that Mr. Threadgill, the superintendent of Mobile County, emailed to us on the 24th. First grade is returning to school on October 5th, so that's Monday. The meal services will continue on Mondays for people who are staying remote from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for ER Dixon. School supplies listed are on our website, ER Dixon website, and a charge device is required for school every day. So they will be transporting their device to and from school each day, because if they're out and you want them to do their assignments, they can do them at home. Simplified uniform policy. So the socks, shoes, and outerwear, so their jackets, those are relaxed at this time. We need you to be safe and suitable for school. So again, make sure the writing or there are no inappropriate graphics or writing on any sort of outerwear, jacket, anything, or shoes or anything like that. But we still want to make sure that they're wearing their hunter green or navy blue shirt, their khaki pants, and their belt. And then second grade and up has to wear their mask. They are required. Additional nurses have been hired and trained in identification of COVID-19 symptoms, isolation of those symptoms, isolation with those with the symptoms, and contact tracing. So they have hired more nurses to help with that. Temperatures will not be checked at school unless a student shows symptoms of an illness. That's why we are asking you as parents to check their temperature before you send them to school. A decision to continue to offer remote learning for the duration of the school will be made after first quarter. So we're not expecting to hear anything from Superintendent Threadgill about the continuation of remote learning until first quarter is ended. Parents and students are not allowed to switch back and forth between remote learning and in-person learning. So you've chosen you made your choice whether you're doing in face-to-face or remote, and that's where you're going to stay. You do get one time to change it. So you get one time to change it after Monday for the first quarter. After first quarter, Mr. Superintendent Threadgill is going to reevaluate and we'll know more further. But just for first quarter, you get one time to change it. So if it's not working out, you can always change your answer one time. So if you have any specific questions regarding your child's class, please reach out to your child's teacher. We're always here to help you. There are emails, Schoology. I know that a lot of us are on Twitter. You can always call us up at the school or even email us. I know a lot of us are checking our emails constantly and always taking phone calls when we can. Social distancing has been incorporated as much as possible in the classroom. So when you, I can show you my room right now, and it's pretty similar to everyone else's. We do have kids at a table, and it's normally just 2 kids at a table just for constraint of room. We don't have enough room sometimes to put all kids by themselves at an individual desk, but we have clear marked off areas for kids so that they know where their space starts and ends. The supplies list, I know that all teachers in first grade are wanting you to bring every material that was sent home in that bag. You need to bring it to school, and they can keep their materials here at school except for their computer needs to go back and forth. Okay, so their materials need to come with them. So that whiteboard, the red screen, their math toolkit, everything in that Phonics First toolkit, if their workbooks need to come back with them, everything like that needs to come back with them so that they can participate in daily instruction. And if you haven't already, please tell your teacher how your child goes home at the end of the day. We have to have tags that go on their book bags so that we make sure that they go home in the right way. So if you haven't told your teacher how your child goes home, please do that today. And if there's a change to that, it has to be written. You can't just call the office or anything like that. You have to send an email or send a note with your child letting us know that you're changing just for that day the way they go home. And then some teachers are going to be sending home behavior folders. So those need to be in their book bag daily so that communication will be given. And we're going to continue to limit the spread of COVID by making sure that we're touching the least amount of materials as possible. And if we do need to touch something, we were supplied gloves so we can make sure that we're staying safe. Homework at this time, we don't have any because we're trying to limit paper and we're trying to limit contact. So all of the assignments will be on Schoology. And again, if you haven't told your teacher, please make sure to tell them if you're a car, van, or bus, and which van, which bus, and what's your car number. If you need to find more information, you can go to this website, and you can, it's the ER Dixon website, and it's the remote learning tab, and all of the information is on that website. Face-to-face information, again, it's on our ER Dixon website under the parent info tab. Okay, and the links are there too, because we're going to be sending out this PowerPoint so that y'all can use these links if you cannot find it on the ER Dixon website. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Flores. She's been handling the chat box, and she's going to just run through the questions that have or have not been answered so that everyone can be brought up to date.
Okay. But now I'm not muted. Okay. Sorry about that. I was on mute. I'm pretty much caught up with all the questions. The one I was just typing in was to Misha Carson. You were asking about asking the school for a computer. I was mid-sentence, so I'll just tell you. The first step to ask the school for a computer is to fill out the Google form that will go directly to the person that's in charge of issuing those devices. So take that first step and then touch base with your teacher, and then we can see where you are in that process. Are there any other unanswered questions? I think I got the rest of them.
I saw someone say, what is the latest we can pick up the children?
Oh.
I believe it, Ms. Wilcox, it's 3:15, correct?
You're mute.
I know. I was looking for the button. Hey, parents, this is Miss Wilcox, the assistant principal. We are dismissing we start dismissal at 3 o'clock this year. Your students must be picked up by 3:30 because we do not have tiger care this year. So everyone must be picked up by 3:30.
Okay, 3:30 this year then.
Yeah, after 3:20, they are late, considered late. And then everyone, we will have a few minutes of leeway. 3:30 is the time.
And what time do they have to be at school? What's the
Okay.
earliest?
We are, our take-in time, we actually unload at 7:25, which is later than last year. I know we were unloading at 7:15, but
Right.
7:25 to 8 o'clock. 7:55 is when our tardy bell rings. 8 o'clock is when the first bell. I mean, the
So-
second bell. Yes, ma'am. So 8 o'clock is your time.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. Basically, I came in on the tail end. My son have a computer from the school. Will he be actually taking this computer back and forth to school every day?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, we need, in case, and the reason for that is in case we have to go back out on remote learning, you have everything available to you and your child will not miss any instruction.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I must have missed the information about the decal. I'm sorry. I missed whatever about the decal. Are we supposed to get a decal?
Yes, we have on the school's website, we have a eFund app on there. It's right underneath. It has 3 little people on it. And you can just click on there and you can purchase a decal. You can get 2 for $5 or 1 for $3. So you can go on there. We're doing all of our purchases. We're not handling any money this year. We're doing everything through apps like eFund.
And that's something I need for drop off and pickup?
Yes,
that's just if I want.
have the car rider, yes, you will need one for the afternoon especially. But yes, you will need a car decal because we will not be calling by name. You need to purchase.
Got it. Thank you. All right.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Will we need the decal if the child's a bus rider and they just missed the bus in the morning to drive them and drop them off to school? Okay.
You will not. No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Do we need to buy a new decal if we have a decal from last year? Or do they
No,
use the number from last year?
no, ma'am, it's the same number.
What if there's a new sibling from this year? We just like add them onto that number?
They
Yeah.
stay on that. They are going to use the same number.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just posted a correction in the chat. The earbuds are on the school supply list posted on the ER Dixon website. I pulled it up real quick and I didn't see it, but yes, earbuds are on the supply list. So sorry about that.
So I see a question in the chat about symptoms like stomach ache or any sort of symptoms like that with medication. So you know your child best. So we're looking for those symptoms of COVID and fever and things like that. So you know your child best. If they're just symptoms coming from the medication, you may send your child to school because you know your child best.
And let the teacher, make the teacher aware that if your child may have frequent stomach aches or headaches and things like that because of medication, let the teacher know and be aware of that. So we will not, we can always take them to the nurse if they're not feeling well, but we just don't want to confuse it with something else.
And yes, they may use Bluetooth headphones. Yes, they may use Bluetooth headphones if they're already set up and paired to the computer. That would be perfect.
So I have a question with
I do have
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Miss Misha, and then we'll go to Miss Mitchell after that.
With the water bottles, like, can she just need like a water bottle? I can't like put like water bottles inside her book bag. Do she just need like a actual water bottle? I can't send her water, the bottles to school like in her book bag.
So what we're doing, you can send like a water bottle with them.
Okay.
So that they have something to drink during the day, because normally we would just let them drink from the water fountain, but because of the virus, we don't want them drinking from the water fountain. That's not sanitary with all that going on. So if you're wanting your child to have something to drink throughout the day, just send them with a water bottle.
Okay, thank you.
With water, yeah. And then Miss Michelle?
Yes, so I know like around this time when the weather starts cooling off, my son, he has bad allergies and asthma that acts up. So do I just need to let the teacher know so it's not confused with COVID symptoms?
Absolutely.
Yes, you can just let me know whenever that happens. And if you want to send a note or send an email, that's fine.
All right.
And
thanks.
also let the nurse know if they require medication. We had a medication drop off last Friday, but if you need to drop off medications, please contact the school and we'll make an appointment for you.
Okay, thank you.
Would the kids be allowed to bring their own lunch or snack?
Yes, they are allowed to bring their own lunch or snack. It just can't be anything that we would need to heat up for them.
No, like a ham and cheese sandwich or something.
Yeah, that's a-okay. It's just it can't be. The only thing was it just couldn't be heated up by a teacher. And then if they forget it, you can't bring it up later in the day.
Gotcha.
All right. Are there any more questions? Parents, we do appreciate you joining us today, and we are very excited to have kids back. It's been a while. I mean, since last March, actually, since we've had children in our building. We did start this week with some students, but we're excited because next week we get our pre-K, K, and 1. So we are excited about that. First grade teachers, do you have anything else? I know. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I think we went over everything. If you have any more questions, just email or let your teacher know, and we'd be happy to help you with anything like that.
Miss Clark, what is your question? She just said she had a question in the chat box. Miss Clark.
How do we go about getting the t-shirts and the masks for the kids?
Did y'all show the copy of the PTO app?
Yes, Mark. Go ahead.
I can re-email you the PTO email that tells you how to buy them using the Cash App. It's Cash App that they're using. I have
Yes.
the email. I'll forward it to you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. If we do not have any more questions, again, parents, we're excited and we hope that you have a great rest of the week. And we look forward to seeing your children here on Monday.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Parents are happy too. We're very excited. So thank you for joining.